My name is Chuck Zo.d.ak. I never believed in fairy tales until a TV company offered me £5. £5 to make a series to prove that fairy tales are true. I now believe. Welcome to my world. Welcome to the world of paranormal. Our investigation has brought us to the small village of Zo.d.ak, where it is said that the living are dead. Legend has it that during the middle of the 19th century, the village of Zo.d.ak became a living hell for most locals. It all started when a witch doctor by the name of Harry Smith was asked to help a boy who had an illness that local doctors could not cure. The witch doctor tried many tricks, songs and dances, but was unable to save the boy. Shortly afterwards, the boy passed away. A few months later, the witch doctor was blamed for the death of the boy and taken to a local court. The judge sentenced the witch doctor to death for the murder of the boy. After being sentenced, the witch doctor placed a curse upon the village. He said, as from this day on, anyone who dies in the village shall be cursed with the death of the living. Our first interview comes from a Blotto Falls. A local drunk who reckons that he had seen the living dead.
I've been up there myself, and you'll never catch me up there again. Never, never again, never.
Being a local drunk, it's possible that Blotto may have seen things that other people could not. He also made a statement that he would never ever return to that village again. Why would Blotto say such a thing?
You'll never catch me up there again, never, never again, never.
After talking to some locals, we found out that Blotto ran away from the village years ago after attending a clinic for alcoholics. Therefore, we can't use Blotto as a credible witness. Our next interview is from a close friend of ours by the name of Jess Double Barrel Gunno. Jess told us that there are things happening in Zo.d.ak, things you would never believe, and that there was people and creatures that you would never want to meet. Jess also told us about a local gang that was running the village by the name of the Bones Gang. He told us that the gang would spend most of their time sitting around the graveyards waiting for their supply of meat from their local butcher. Jess also told us that the gang used the witch doctor's legend to frighten people away. And if we wanted to investigate this more, that he would go undercover for us to get the evidence. After a few hours on the road, we had made it in Zo.d.ak. We wasn't sure what to expect. We had heard many different stories over the past few days, but now it was time we went in search of the truth for ourselves. Just before we left, Blotto Falls came out warning us once again.
The legend is true, and you better believe it. The dead are living out there.
10 minutes later, we had reached our destination. There was no going back now. All our plans was made. We had to just cross our fingers and hope for the best. When we arrived, the first thing we did was to take some evening shots in the graveyard. After 4 hours of walking around and tripping over headstones, we couldn't find anything, so we returned back to base to make our plans for the following day. The following morning we all met up in the woods. Jess arrived early so he could show us his undercover suit. Jess reckons by wearing this suit, the Bone Gang would believe that he was one of them and would be able to gather intelligence and then pass the information on to us. while Jim went undercover, we took a few hours off from our investigation to have a look round at some nearby woods. As we walked through the woods, I just couldn't stop thinking about Blatto's warning.
The legend is true, and you better believe it. The dead are living out there.
There was something about this investigation that just didn't seem right. Witch doctors? The Bone Gang? Something didn't add up here. All we could do is just wait for Jess to return and his report. That evening, Jess sent us a report about the Bone Gang. Jess told us that he had discovered that the headman was a person by the name of Jim Calcium, and that it was Jim Calcium who was supplying the Bone Gang with their meat. Up until now, Jess had not met Calcium, but would contact us as soon as he did. Jess also mentioned that the Bone Gang were having a get-together tomorrow night and that he was invited. That evening, Jess was ready. Armed with his camcorder, which he thought nobody would ever notice, he was ready to capture the evidence. So let the party begin.
Let me out. I made it tonight, Joseph. Eat it.
We didn't see Jess until a few days later. Jess told us that at the party he did get to know a few of the bones. He had found out that the Bone Gang was nothing more than a bunch of skeletons pretending to be dead. In short, Jess had found the living that are said to be dead. Jess told us that the Bone Gang didn't want to hurt anybody, and that they had to rely on Jim Calcium for their meat. Nobody knew where Jim was or where he lived. However, Jim did catch up with a bone that did know Jim Calcium well. Jess explained to us that the boy who died all those years ago was in fact related to Jim Calcium. Calcium never blamed the witch doctor for the death of the boy. and that he created the Bone Gang to get his revenge on the villagers. And that was the last we heard from Jim Calcium. We just never heard from him again.